Thanks for being here. This is my good friend Robbie Roberts, and together we have over 80 years experience in the real estate industry. Robbie has been a top lender here in the Riverside area since 1979, 78, Robbie?
In this area, 1996.
1996 in this area, but you've been a lender for over 40 years, and in the real 43 years. And I'm renewing my license for the, the 10th time, and I'm in my 40th year. And yesterday we were having a conversation, a simple conversation about the market, and it reminded me how much knowledge and experience Robbie has. And a couple of questions came up that I asked, and he had such great answers, I thought we'd share them. So that's why we're here today. And so I'm just gonna, if you don't mind, Robbie, just start asking you some questions and let you do what you do so well. The first one was, we're in a market that's balancing itself, and buyers have a better opportunity, I believe, to buy homes, although prices are up and interest rates are up. But there are some opportunities to get some offers accepted with specialty financing. And I wanted to ask you about your specialties, which is 1, VA, 2, Cal HAFA, and then I wanted to ask you about some specific stuff. So tell me about some buyer opportunities that you think that people should be taking advantage of now.
Well, right now buyers have more selectivity. There's more properties on the market that are staying on the market a little bit longer. They can actually get an offer accepted and get some seller help in paying for some of their closing costs. 9 months ago, you didn't see that. 9 months ago, there'd be 15, 20 offers on a property within the first week.
Right.
People get their hearts broken because they'd find their dream home and someone would outbid them for it, and sometimes overpay for it. Now you can actually get a good value, have more selectivity, find a home that you like, and have less competition to buy it. And then, of course, when rates go back down, we all know that they will, then they can refinance at that time, and they get the best of both worlds.
Well, I wanted to ask you specifically about some of the programs that you're an expert in. People may not know, I owned a company from 1986 to 1991 that was called Veteran Housing Center. All I did was VA, and it's very dear to my heart. Robbie here, who's, by the way, you should know that he comes from a real estate family. His father, Gail Roberts, owned Ridgeway Company for many years, and he was was he the commander? What was he?
I was a product.
Oh, you were a product. No, you were fine. But the reality is, your dad was that, but he was also a military. Came from a military family. So, but tell us about VA opportunities in this market at this time for VA.
Well, the great thing about my particular company is we're experts at doing VA, RWM, and we're very aggressive at approving them. Some companies are more conservative because they are zero down, but we have Randy Lamb down in San Diego, who's a VA expert, who any questions I don't have I have after being doing this for 40 years, he can answer for us. Bottom line is you can get in zero down, you can get the seller to pay your closing costs to create a VA no-no. You can streamline refinance it down the road to a lower rate. VA financing, and most people don't realize this because it is zero down, is the easiest type of loan to qualify for, easier than FHA. And you go up to 100% with no mortgage insurance, which is a tremendous value. If you're a disabled veteran, there's no funding fee. It is literally the least expensive with the best rate and the most aggressive qualifying that you can get for our veterans that represented our country.
And that's a point that I want to make. Veterans have earned this benefit through their service as an earned benefit. And if you are a veteran and honorable general or medical discharge, you qualify as long as you've put in a certain number of active duty. But if you have any questions, if you served, or even if you're a reservist, you might contact Robbie. Now, I neglected to mention the company that you work for, which is Residential Wholesale Mortgage.
Yeah, RWM.
And they have a branch right here in Riverside. So Robbie knows a lot about VA, but I think it's a great opportunity because you can get buyers, it's zero down, but you can also get sellers today to make the concession of paying your closing costs under VA, which allows you to really get in no. Now, back in the 80s, we used to call it a VA no-no, but the market changed, and now it's changing back, and you can get these concessions. I believe strongly that it's better to get in with no money than to drop the price $10,000, because you can get in, and that difference won't make a whole lot of difference in price, but no money out of pocket is a big deal. Wouldn't you agree with that?
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
You're getting down payment and closing costs are the biggest obstacle to new home buyers and first-time buyers. Along those lines, if you're not a veteran, there's a great program called Cal HAFA. Now, I know that Robbie's a great proponent of it, but also an expert in it. So tell us a little bit about Cal HAFA and how they could use that today in this interest rate
CalHFA is a self-funded state agency, so it's not supported by our tax dollars. And basically, it provides down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. You can't own another home. It is exclusively for first-time home buyers. It gives you help with both down payment and closing costs. And so even if a seller is not willing to help pay for your closing costs, you can get into a home for now $3,000 or $4,000. In some cases, $2,000, but usually now it's $3,000 or $4,000. If you have a little bit of money to put down, now's the perfect time to buy using CalHFA, because you can not use the third trust deed, which is called the ZIP, the zero interest program. You can only use the My Home, which goes up to 100% of value, similar to VA. You can ask the seller to help you with the closing costs, and you get a killer rate on your underlying FHA loan. You can go conventional or FHA, but FHA is a better value, CalHFA. You can get a tremendous rate on that underlying FHA loan, have your down payment covered by CalHFA, and have a great agent like Doug or someone in his office negotiate for the seller to pay some of your costs so you can get in for only $3,000 or $4,000.
Well, that's a great program. And you know what? You need an expert to guide you through that. Now, Robbie just blew through it, but there is details that he knows. And when you hire somebody with this kind of experience, what you're really looking at is overcoming obstacles and getting you to a point where you can qualify or get through the process easier. And that's really the value that someone like Robbie or I add, quite frankly. I will say one thing. When I was talking the other day, I learned something. I didn't know. Oftentimes it's down payment, but credit is often an issue with first-time buyers, people that haven't established enough credit. And Robbie shared with me something I did not know, that today, through his expertise, you can use utility bills and other things that aren't normally on a credit report to help boost your credit. Is that what you were telling me?
Yeah, there's two ways that first-time buyers or repeat buyers can, move-up buyers can do in regard to their credit. If they have very little credit, then as lenders, we use what's called alternative credit, where we have them call the utility company, usually Riverside Public Utilities or some other utility, whoever they pay their electric bill through, gas company, auto insurance, cable TV bill, cell phone bill. And these companies actually will provide a letter stating that, so-and-so has made their payments on time the last 12 months. We can actually have that credit history added to their credit report. The fact that you've made consistent payments over the last year or two. And we can eliminate the companies, that maybe you were late once or twice, and have those added to your credit, and it will raise your FICO score and help establish credit for people that, don't have enough credit typically, or think they don't have enough credit. We also have companies, and we know the good ones. There are some scam companies out there that repair credit, but we know the good ones that are registered with the Federal Trade Commission, where we can help work with you to have bad credit taken off your credit so you can qualify where you normally wouldn't as well.
Well, that's exactly why I wanted to have you on today. Those kind of insights, that kind of experience means something. Why bother in this market? Are interest rates too high? Or are home prices too high? Well, I will tell you this, we're in a great market for a buyer. There's a saying that says, is it better to overpay by $100,000 or to get a price down, get a better price and have a little higher interest rate? Well, the same is true of any buyer, first time or resale buyer. It's better to get into home ownership, because I will guarantee you the only thing that matters, the best rent control, if you're renting, is a 30-year mortgage. You can always, when rates come down, refinance. There are other programs, but I just wanted to share some of these insights with Robbie. I wanted to expose our customers to this kind of experience and knowledge. And do you want to share anything else, Robbie, before we
go? 9 months ago, you couldn't get an offer accepted as a buyer.
Yeah.
Now's a great time, because houses are sitting in the market. They're accepting less than list price. They're willing to pay buyer's costs. Rates are a little high right now, but all the experts say they're going to be going down next year.
Yeah.
When they do go back down, you're going to have a flood of buyers back in the market, just like we had a year or two ago, and have a hard time getting an offer accepted, having a hard time getting the home you really want because of all the competition. Now you can get the home you really want because sellers need you, and then you can refinance down the road when the experts are right and rates go back down again here in the following year.
That's exactly true. And I always tell people, if you think you're going to overpay, well, wouldn't you like to own all the homes that everybody overpaid for in 2005 that now are double in price? The California real estate market has one truism. They're not building enough houses to meet the demand, and that's what drives it all. So now's a great time to tie up some real estate, buy it with an interest rate that might be a little higher but could come down. I really implore you to look into the opportunities of buying with somebody with these kind of skills and experience. So we thank you. Look for us more